It's a farm journal for May 17th, 2019. Oh, good morning. You caught me weeding. Welcome to Egret Isle Farm and the Serene Disciple Project. It's going to rain tomorrow, and so I wanted to see if I could get ahead of these weeds a little bit. Would you like to come weed with me? I find weeding kind of therapeutic. Maybe you will too. Come on, let's weed together. Now, I don't start pulling weeds right out of the ground. That would be too difficult. I'd just be hand mowing. No, before I start pulling the weeds up, I have to break them out of the soil. Now, there's a sermon in there somewhere. I bet you could find it. Once the soil has been broken up, it's really just a matter of pulling the weeds out of the loose soil. Pretty easy. The beets are really just getting started. I planted them late, and so there's not been time for many weeds to take hold here. Now, some of the chickens help me with the weeding in what's called a chicken tractor. Here's what it looks like where they have not yet been. And here's my little weeder helpers. And here's where they've been. They've turned weeds into chicken meat, and they've also taken care of all the bugs in that area. Now, that's the kind of win-win that is sustainable agriculture at its best. Been meaning to get to this for a while. This is actually a willow tree that has taken root beside this raised bed, which brings up the point that a weed is simply something that is out of place for the time and season, not something that is in itself bad. In another place, at another time, it would be wanted and needed. Gosh, there's another sermon. The garden is full of them. Let's take a break. I'd like to show you my insect control methods, and then why don't we take a look and see what the garden is producing right now. These are autonomous hunter-killer biobots that rove the garden and kill insects, otherwise known as chickens. Here's another autonomous biobot in training called ducklings. Now, as I've been weeding, I have noticed that there is an awful lot of these. The blooms have already come and gone on many of these, and they've been pollinated. And so we are going to have a ton of squash this year. Maybe you'd like to come to Farm Day and get some. Now, I've weeded here, but I'll have to go back and look at the garden plan to see what this is, because I can't for the life of me remember what I planted here. I love these purple flowers on these beans. That's really pretty. I think it'll make nice beans too. Look at there. And these are bush beans on the other side, I think. And here you can see the cantaloupe patch is in blossom. Ooh, that's going to be good. Well, now, look at here. Nothing in the world like fresh green tomatoes. We'll let these get a little bigger, I think. Says Big Bertha bell peppers. Well, maybe they'll get bigger. I think these guys are ready to go to the kitchen. What can we have with sauteed onions and garlic tonight? Look at that. Found something to have with those sauteed onions. Look at this. Oh yeah, look at that. Okay, potatoes and onions. Looky here. I think we might get peaches from this tree for the first year. Well, I better get back to weeding, but thanks for stopping by. You know, kneeling here in the garden on a warm, breezy spring morning is, for me, both creative work, an extension of the shop, and I guess a form of prayer, as my eye and hand move from weed to weed, pulling them out with a satisfying pop as the roots give up their hold on the soil, shaking the dirt off those roots, seeing the fresh earth around the one plant I do want to thrive, anticipating the good food that plant will produce. Well, I can't help musing on the parallels with life. Healthy spirituality is really, I think, a process of removal, of subtraction rather than addition, a process of incremental simplification, removing the extraneous and unneeded to come to the essential, the one thing that, if given a chance to thrive, can produce sustenance, life. In your life, what needs to go because it's out of place in this season, in this place? What needs to be given the chance to thrive? Something to think about. See you next time. Well, I think that's enough for today. We'll see you next time. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and give.